The countryside is so dark, I almost don't see the man standing by the side of the road. His face is a pale spot of color floating in the shadows. There's a battered rucksack slung over his shoulder. I roll to stop beside him and unwind the car window. Need a lift? His teeth flash white as he grins. That'd be great, thanks. He slings his rucksack into the back seat and slides into the car next to me. His face is travel-worn and a scuff of beard darkening his chin, weary shadows under his eyes. There's a fraying rip in the right knee of his jeans. He smells faintly of grass, but more strongly of sweat. I don't mind. It's not as if there's a place in the countryside for hitchhikers to scrub up. What's your name? He asks. The moon, flickering between silhouetted trees, casts strobing patterns of light and shadow across his face. He looks like a weird piece of modern art. Lucette, I tell him. Last week, I was Angela. The week before that, I was Sally. I barely know myself anymore. Next week, I'll be someone else. Nice to meet you, Lucette. I'm Nicholas. He holds out his hand. His palm is rough against mine, fingers calloused. He probably does some sort of manual labor for a living. I wonder if Nicholas is his real name, or if, like me, he wears identities as like a mask. He leans back in the seat, and I feel his eyes sliding over me, appraising me. I'm neither pretty nor plain, but somewhere in between. You wouldn't pick me out of a crowd, but there is no crowd here, just me and Nicholas, all alone on a shadow-wrapped stretch of road. Nicholas isn't a big guy, but I can see the muscles corded in his arms peeking out from under rolled-up shirt sleeves. I'm built delicately, a fawn against his stag. If he should try something, there'd be no one around to hear me scream. I shake my head. I don't like to automatically see darkness in people. For all I know, Nicholas is just like me, another sad, lonely, lost soul on the road of life, swallowed up by the shadows. So where are you headed? He asks. I shrug. Sometimes I make up a lie about sightseeing or spin a tale about wanting to get some experience out in the big, bad world. Sometimes I wax philosophical about freeing myself from the restraints of material possessions. But today, I don't want to lie. The truth is, I don't know why I'm on the road or where I'm going. I simply drive. Maybe one day I'll find the answer, waiting by the side of the road. It's a good thing you came along. I was starting to think I'd have to spend the night out there, Nicholas says. Most people wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker at this time of night. I agree. Most people wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker at all. He cuts me a sidelong glance. Can I ask why you did? I keep my eyes on the road as I think about how to answer him. Like you said, if I hadn't picked you up, you'd be sleeping rough tonight. That's hardly your problem, he points out. Maybe not, but I know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like to sleep under the stars on a cold night, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. He is silent for a moment, picking at the nash and the knee of his jeans. But doesn't it worry you? Inviting strangers into your car in the middle of nowhere? Is this the part where you tell me you're really a serial killer that poses as a hitchhiker? He laughs, but it's uneasy. A harsh burst of noise that sounds too loud in the confined space of the car. My hands tighten on the steering wheel. Thinking of him as some hitchhiking predator seems like such a cliche, an urban legend. But even urban legends can germinate from seeds of reality. I turn on the radio, hoping it will break the sudden tension. Dolly Parton warbles out, her sweet voice filling the car. You going to pull over somewhere to sleep, or are you planning to drive all night? Nicholas says. A patch of shadow covers his face like a mask. His eyes are bright slits. Something cold grips my heart. The temperature in the car feels like it just dropped 10 degrees. The air is stiff with tension. No need to pull over, I say, my voice falsely cheery. I'm not tired. You can nap if you want. Nicholas reaches out and turns off the radio, cutting Dolly short mid-warble. Lucette, I think you should pull over. There's a hard edge to his voice now. Something dark and ugly coiling around his words. It's been miles since I saw any sign of civilization. It could be further miles before I see anything. There's no one around to help me. I know it, and Nicholas knows it. If I stop, I don't know what he'll do. His hand closes on my wrist, and I know that if I don't stop, he'll force me to. I pull into a lay-by and turn off the engine. My breathing sounds harsh and too loud in the sudden silence. Denim rustles as Nicholas reaches across and rests a hot, heavy hand on my leg. I wonder if he's always been this way, a creature with a dark soul that haunts the shadows like an animal, the kind of person that just was born bad, or if he's been seduced by the wilderness, the lawlessness. Out here, there is no sign of society, just a world stripped back to a primitive state. The people out here can revert to a primitive state too, ruled by basic impulses. It's not as if there's anyone around to lay down the law. There's a good girl, Nicholas says, and his voice is like some dark thing slithering over me. He wants me to be pliant and obedient. He'll tell me it'll be easier for me. I've heard it all before. Nicholas is not the first roadside stranger I've picked up. Be a good girl now, they whisper in my ear as their hands fumble across me. You'll only make it harder for yourself if you fight. So I sit there and say nothing as Nicholas runs his hand up my thigh, inching closer to the seam between my legs. My heart is going boom, boom, boom in my chest, but I don't say a word. Let him think I'm good. I'm cooperating. I'm weak. Nicholas leans into me, his weight pushing me back on the seat. His mouth slobbers at my neck. My hand slides under my seat, fingers groping. There it is. I curl my hand around the familiar cold handle, and I calmly plunge the screwdriver into Nicholas's ear. His eyes go wide, but he doesn't scream. He just slumps onto me, flops around a bit like a landed fish, and dies. I'm stronger than I look, so it doesn't take me long to wrestle Nicholas's body out of the car and drag him round to the boot. When I pop open the boot, the smell of decay wafts out. Unblinking eyes stare back at me from the shadowed space. They all died with a look of surprise on their faces. Like they couldn't believe someone could beat them at their own game. A smile teases my lips. I hoist Nicholas into the boot, onto the bodies already piled inside. I wasn't lying when I said Nicholas wasn't the first guy to have done this. I'll never drive past someone in need of a lift, but if they put a hand on me, they'll wind up on their way to an unmarked grave. I should probably clear out the boot soon. I do it so very often when it gets too full or when it really starts to smell. There's a happy little tune on my lips as I pull out of the lay-by. The screwdriver is back under my seat where it belongs, ready for next time. Next week, I think I'll be Jessica.